1,000 words ain't enough to define the body up, yeah. Caught her look and she wants it back. She's firing up that body up, yeah. You think that I want you, but nah, babe. You're one in a million, but it's not for me. I'm not into girls with a plastic trace. Don't take it too personally, yeah. My fault, my bad. The word's out, but you weren't ready for it. Show off, appearance of I got it, but I can't see through all the lies. The lies, the lies, the lies, the lies, the lies. Gotta be hard on you now to know the truth. A bit confused, but there's a bunch of us out in the world who's just like me, not into you. Same thing. You think you the deal, you know nothing, babe. I want something real, nothing custom made. I'll buy you a drink, keep you company. I'm sorry, that's all it will be. My fault, my bad. The word's out, but you weren't ready for it. Show off, appearance of I got it, but I can't see through all the lies. The lies, the lies, the lies, the lies, the lies. Instagram sensation, taking selfies for attention. Get high on confirmation, keeping nervous conversation. Some Instagram sensation, taking selfies for attention. Get high on confirmation, keeping nervous conversation. Some Instagram sensation, taking selfies for attention. Get high on confirmation, keeping nervous conversation. Some Instagram sensation, taking selfies for attention. A 1,000 words ain't enough to define the body up, yeah. Caught her look and she wants it back. She's firing up that body up, yeah. You think that I want you, but nah, babe. You're one in a million, but it's not for me. I'm not into girls with a plastic trace. Don't take it too personally, yeah. My fault, my bad. The word's out, but you weren't ready for it. Show off, appearance of I got it, but I can't see through all the lies. The lies, the lies, the lies, the lies, the lies. Gotta be hard on you now to know the truth. A bit confused, but there's a bunch of us out in the world who's just like me, not into you. Same thing. You think you the deal, you know nothing, babe. I want something real, nothing custom made. I'll buy you a drink, keep you company. I'm sorry, that's all it will be. My
What up? What up? What up? What up? Hope y'all can hear what I'm saying. Let's check the mic check right quick. Okay, I think we good. What going on, everybody, man? Shout out to the 100 in the chat. I am your host, man, with the most, man, Kituko X Kehinde. Shout out to King job, man. If you're new to this channel, man, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, man. Don't be no hater. If you're a hater, subscribe anyway, man. Y'all, you might like hating on me or some shit like YouTube do. Just subscribe to the channel, man. Like the video. And what y'all know about Glyphosate and autism, man. Like Glyphosate, I know people be talking about autism and shit though. I don't know. I was thinking that's just some shit they just diagnosed. They had to, it's a money thing, man. Cause United States is a corporation, man. They ain't doing nothing without money being involved. But autism, man, me myself, man, I don't know, man. I just think they the more people they diagnose, that's why they really diagnosing these kids and shit with ADHD and autism and shit though. But I know it really, we're gonna look at this Glyphosate though. It has something to do with autism and diabetes. Really we concentrating on autism and shit though, cause that's a goddamn big topic on, in the United States and everywhere, man. Autism and shit. Everybody be talking about autism. But I was just looking up some shit, man. And I was looking at I looked at this video with Stephanie Seneff, something like that. I'm gonna show y'all the video though. And she is a PH. She a doctor, man, and she got, well, I don't know if she retired. I think she retired, but she answering questions and shit about this shit though. She did her own research and shit. When she gonna tell y'all what she came up with and everything though, man. It's really quite interesting though. The way this Glyphosate, man, it's been put in our, it's like a pesticide and shit, man. Been put in our food and shit, man, and the crops and shit, man. And I was looking at the charts and shit, man, like the goddamn chart, really pretty much what she's saying too, though. I was looking at the chart though before I ran across her. But I ran across her and she's saying some real shit though. I'm gonna show y'all these charts I was looking at too, man. What got something to do with Glyphosate and autism, cause it's a connection, man. It gotta be some type of connection going on, cause the numbers don't lie. Around the time this shit here came here, 19-something, 70-something, 4-6, some shit, but that around the time they start diagnosing people with autism and shit, man, and diabetes and shit, though. We gonna show y'all it's like the same time. Crazy shit, man. When they start spraying them pesticides and shit on the food, and they lying to it like it's goddamn safe and shit, but the shit, that ain't none of that shit safe, man. None of it, man. But yeah, man, let's get into this right quick though, so I can go on and get up out of here, man. But first of all, let's get this disclaimer going right quick, cause I ain't got time for the bullshit. There you go.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research.
Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Now, back to you, Kituko.
All right, man. Y'all check out this diagram right here, man, because it means a lot. Genetics load the gun. Environment and your lifestyle pull the trigger. What y'all think about that, man? Leave a comment. What y'all think about that? It's some real shit, though. Cause your genetics, it there though, man. Your lifestyle gonna pull the trigger on whatever it is gonna go on with you the way you living and shit, man, what you eating and shit, drinking and all that type of shit, what you doing to your body. It gonna reflect that. It gonna pull the trigger. The environment gonna pull the trigger, man. I feel that. I feel that. First, we're gonna get into glyphosate and autism. Glyphosate, man, is a chemical substance and herbicide that is used to kill weeds and grasses in agriculture, forestry, and lawn and garden care. This the chemical shit they be putting in that shit, but they try to say it's good though. And autism is a condition characterized by challenges. It's plenty of different conditions though. Challenges with social skills, repetitive behavior, and speech and nonverbal communication, shit like that though. You know, I don't even think that I'm autism. Come on, I don't know, man. And then they diagnose the kids and shit though, man. Kids. Sometimes kids just be being kids, man. Just like that ADHD shit, man. They get paid for that shit, man. It's a goddamn money scheme, man. The United States is a corporation. It's a money thing, man. I'm telling y'all. This is Dr. Stephanie Seneff, senior research scientist, man. She a scientist, do all that shit. MIT, computer science, artificial intelligence laboratory, and all that shit. They're gonna be on the interview, doing the interview. She gonna answer a lot of questions and shit though. I think the video about 20 minutes or something like that there. But I got it chopped up. Y'all know how I do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just putting the information out there. You just take it in, do what y'all want to do with the information. But I'm just giving y'all the goddamn information, man. Because y'all ain't going to look this shit up. It got something to do with your life. This y'all life, man. These people telling lies and shit about everything. We confronting the lies, remember? Let's go. Let's go see what Stephanie talking about. And we're going to look at the charts later. We're going to look at the charts and shit later, though. I want to read, hold up. You know what? Hold up. We got to go back. I want to read, no. Hold up, though. I got to do something. I want to read something, man. We got to look up the goddamn glyphosate. We got to look up the glyphosate, man. We got to look it up, man. We're going to read up on the glyphosate right quick. I just want to read up on this shit right quick. That's all I want to do right here. I want to see the goddamn year. Let's go right here. We're going to go to Wikipedia. I just want to see the year. We're going to check out the year right quick where this shit even came up. Let me play my music back right quick. Listen. Hold up, y'all. I just want to look up some shit right quick. Let me share this. Let me share my goddamn screen right quick. I want to show y'all this right quick, man. We're going to read it. We're going to read it, man. We're going to read it. Y'all see this? Hold up. Y'all see that shit right there? Yeah, check this out. Man, I turn that music off. Fuck that. Glyphosate, that's it right there. It's a broad spectrum systemic herbicide and crop Desiccant. Okay, I want to see what year really. Compound especially on which act plant enzymes. Okay. It is used to kill weeds, especially annual broadleaf weeds and grasses that compete with crops. Its herbicidal effectiveness was discovered by Monsanto chemist John E. Franz in 1970. See, he discovered this shit in 1970. See, Monsanto brought it to the market in agricultural use in 1974. I knew it was 1974 or 1976, one of them. But anyway, under the trade name Roundup, man, y'all remember that? It's Roundup. It's the same shit. It's in Roundup though. It's in that shit. His last commercial relevant United States patent expired in 2000, but they still got it. Farmers quickly adopted glyphosate for agricultural weed control, especially after the dude Monsanto's introduced glyphosate-resistant Roundup ready crops. Man, they putting that shit in all our shit, man. It's GE genetically engineered food and shit, man. We finna look at it. We're gonna look at the charts and shit with that shit, man, in the United States. Farmers to kill weed without killing their crops. In 2007, glyphosate was the most used herbicide in the United States agriculture sector and the second most used after 2,4-D in home and garden, government and industry and commercial application. Hey, man, I be skimming through this shit when I'm reading too, so hey, it's all good. From the late 1916, there was a 100-fold increase in frequency and volume of application for glyphosate-based herbicides worldwide, with further increasing expect in the future. They using the hell out this shit. Like, y'all see what time that shit came in. Really was 1970 something. 74 and shit like that. I just want to show y'all that shit. Because I knew it was somewhere around that time. Glyphosate is absorbed through foliage and roots. Let's see. While glyphosate and formulations such as Roundup have been approved by regulation bodies worldwide, concerns about their effects on humans and environment have persisted. Yeah, the effects that we finna talk about. The number of regulatory scholarly reviews have evaluated and relative toxicity of the glyphosate as an herbicide. Okay, let's go. Health risks, we got health risks and shit. The WHO and Frequent Joint Committee pesticide issues a report in 2016 stating the use of glyphosate formula does not necessarily consult a health risk, and given the acceptable daily intake, limited. That's a lie, see? Per kilogram of body weight per day for chronic tox. They lied. That's a lie. That's a lie, because we finna look at this shit right now. Hold up. We finna look at this shit right now. I want to show you. We're gonna check out Stephanie right now. Let's check Stephanie out now. Cause Stephanie gonna tell us all about it, man. I don't know what the hell going on, man. Stephanie gonna tell us what's going on, though. We know that much. Let's listen to her. Let's listen to Stephanie, man. So check this out. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this shit, though. But like the video, man. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel, man. We don't do nothing but go hard on the government and on all kind of shit, man. We confront the lies, man, with the truth. Because the truth gonna always be there. It ain't going nowhere, buddy. Check out.
My name is Stephanie Seneff, and I'm a senior research scientist at MIT. I have a bachelor's degree in biology from MIT and a PhD from MIT also in electrical engineering and computer science. I've worked at MIT all my life, and for most of my research, I was involved with developing computer spoken dialogue systems that allow a computer to communicate with humans trying to make it use natural language, natural dialogue communication. About 7 years ago, I got very interested in autism because I was worried about what I perceived as some kind of environmental factors that must be causing the obvious increase in the incidence of autism. So I started studying it, and I used my computer science tools to help me analyze research literature, analyze databases like, for example, the Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System.
Check out these diagrams.
And started looking and trying to find out which environmental factors might be playing a role in autism.
What's the problem with glyphosate?
So it took me 5 years of research on autism. I gathered a lot of data, found some evidence that aluminum and mercury toxicity were playing an important role. Sunlight deficiency was also a factor. I could see that from the association between these factors and the autism syndrome, which is a very complex syndrome with many comorbidities. But it was 5 years after struggling to find the answer that I finally did find the answer in a presentation that I heard by Professor Don Huber, who's a retired expert, academician. He's a retired professor from Purdue University and studied plant physiology and plant pathology his entire life. And he has been tirelessly campaigning since retirement around the world on his conviction that glyphosate is the most critical, most dangerous toxin in our environment today. And I was blown away by his 2-hour presentation because he solved all the remaining problems that where I had gaps, where I could see autism had these.
No, I was saying it wrong. It's glyphosate. That's it.
Different features, such as the gut dysbiosis, a lot of problems with the gut that I wasn't able to explain with the things that I had studied so far. So all of a sudden, everything fell into place. The sulfur deficiency as well, and the dysbiosis of sulfur, and the serotonin deficiency. So all of these things that I was aware of were problems in autism that I hadn't been able to explain. Then all of a sudden, I could explain them with this molecule. I don't understand why the U.S. government is not recognizing the dangers of glyphosate. I think that Monsanto, the producer of glyphosate, has done a very good job of convincing them that there's no need to worry. And so they've been, Monsanto claims that it's harmless to humans, or nearly harmless to humans, because and they say why, which is that we don't have the pathway that it disrupts in plants. And so that's, I guess, a reasonable enough explanation that most people want to believe it, and therefore they don't go any further than that. But if you do take a deeper look at what glyphosate actually does to cells of all sorts, and there have been studies on microbes and studies on animal models, and there have been probably no studies on humans, which is really unfortunate when this is the most widely used herbicide on the planet. So I just should say glyphosate is the active ingredient in the pervasive weed killer Roundup, which people can go down to the hardware store and buy to use to kill the weeds in their yard. People are careless with it because they don't consider it to be toxic. And it's used in enormous amounts in the agricultural world. Specifically and especially on the GMO Roundup Ready crops. That's one of the major GMOs that exist in the world, are these genetically modified processed food industry: soy, corn, canola oil, sugar beets, which is of course sugar. There's really only a few, alfalfa is another one, of these core crops that are Roundup Ready, which means that they don't die when they're sprayed with Roundup, and then as a consequence they soak it up, and we're getting a lot more residue in our food as a consequence. Yeah, Roundup, glyphosate by itself is toxic, but it has a hard time getting into the cells. So they've actually, they've found out, they've discovered that if they add these additional surfactant factors to the Roundup, then to the glyphosate to make the product Roundup, then they can make the glyphosate much more toxic to plants than it would otherwise be. Unfortunately, it's also much more toxic to our cells as well. And in fact, studies have shown a 125-fold increase in toxicity of glyphosate in the presence of these surfactants. And when they study glyphosate in isolation, they don't put these surfactants in. So they're lying about the toxicity by a factor of 125 in these studies.
Lies. Do these toxins accumulate in humans, animals, our food supply?
I know, and that's another thing that Monsanto has assured us, that it flushes through very quickly and goes out in the urine, and we shouldn't have to worry about it accumulating. The evidence is not strong because almost nobody has looked to see exactly what happens to the glyphosate in humans. There has been a very recent study on chickens that showed it accumulating in several tissues, including the muscles. And of course, the muscles are the meat. So that means if you're eating a chicken that's been fed a lot of glyphosate-containing food, you're going to get glyphosate in the meat.
Okay.
Yes. A human study was done by a group of moms in an organization called Moms Across America, and these moms sent off their breast milk for evaluation for glyphosate. These were moms who were conscientious about GMOs and trying to avoid them. And some 30% of the moms had glyphosate present in their milk, and in their milk at a higher concentration than it was present in their urine, which is an indication of bioaccumulation in the milk because it's being concentrated there. So that's very, very disturbing. This might also explain why people are having so much trouble with casein and milk intolerance, various problems with milk products potentially because the milk contains glyphosate, I'm suspecting. Because the cows are given huge amounts of glyphosate in their food, which comes from the GMO Roundup Ready corn and soy.
Damn, this shit done stopped. My bad. My bad. Let's see what we got here. Go to the next video. Glyphosate in breast milk.
Yeah, well, obviously the breast milk is going to go to the baby, and the baby is going to get exposed to glyphosate very early in life. Of course, even probably in the fetus is probably also getting exposed to glyphosate, or if not, it's getting exposed to the consequence of a hostile environment because of what glyphosate does to everything else. And we can get into this later, but glyphosate chelates minerals, which causes them to be unavailable. And so mineral deficiency becomes a problem, and in particular cobalamin deficiency is a huge factor associated with issues during pregnancy. Preeclampsia, for example, which is a very a scary condition that develops in the third trimester and can be due to cobalamin deficiency. Cobalamin requires cobalt, and cobalt is chelated by glyphosate. Studies on cows showed extremely low levels of cobalt in the blood across the board on 8 different dairy farms in Denmark. Yeah, that's just absolutely fascinating, and I'm reading more and more about it and struggling with the chemistry and the physics of it all. It's very fascinating, and I'm discovering, I'm looking at several different minerals, certainly starting with cobalt, iron, molybdenum, manganese, at least, and then also aluminum and arsenic, which are not minerals that we want. Those are toxic metals. And all of those become disrupted and dangerous in the context of glyphosate. So chelation means that it basically puts a cage around the molecule, around the atom, the mineral, and makes it unavailable to the gut bacteria. And for example, the lactobacillus critically depend on manganese for their survival, and when the manganese isn't available. And so I think the glyphosate is depriving them of their manganese, causing them then to not grow well. And they play an important role in chasing out all the pathogens. So when they can't grow, pathogens take over, and you end up with the inflammatory gut that's become an epidemic in the American system.
A pathogen is a disease, any type of disease. It's a pathogen.
Society. In fact, studies have been done on chickens, and they've shown both bifidobacteria and lactobacillus are disrupted by glyphosate, and then Clostridium difficile overgrows in the context of glyphosate, and that's a very serious. We've had huge issues with C. difficile recently in hospitals. There have been these infections that are resistant to multiple antibiotics. So I think this is a consequence of the comfortable environment that glyphosate is setting up for these pathogens to allow them to grow.
Yeah. The glyphosate preferential kill all good and
it looks that way. It looks to me like that the glyphosate
bacteria
disrupts the things that the beneficial bacteria need to thrive. And so the consequence is then that the pathogens take over, and then that causes a host of problems to the person. And once your gut is out of order, then all kinds of things go wrong.
It sounds a little confusing, but if y'all pay attention, it don't.
Including your nervous system, because there's a very strong connection between the gut and the brain. The gut-brain axis is something that researchers are studying very intently these days.
When I show y'all these goddamn diagrams, these graphs and shit, these charts, yeah, they gonna explain a lot. How does glyphosate damage other metabolic functions?
Right. No, it's very, very interesting with manganese. And it took me a while, just like it took me a while to discover glyphosate, 5 years of looking. Then after I discovered glyphosate and read extensively about it, it took me at least a year, maybe even a year and a half, to realize manganese. And what tipped me off, I had sort of seen manganese, because I knew that manganese was a critical factor in how glyphosate kills the plant, because the enzyme that it disrupts depends on manganese. So that was a big hint. But then I sort of hadn't heard much about manganese in human physiology, and I thought, well, maybe it's not that important to humans. But then I saw this article about these cows, and I mentioned it earlier, cobalt. They looked at the cows that were being fed GMO Roundup Ready corn and soy, and they looked at a bunch of different minerals, and they found 2 that were severely depleted. So that was a big clue. Those are the 2 I should be looking at, manganese and cobalt. Cobalt, I mentioned cobalamin, which is incredibly important to your physiology.
Glutamate.
Manganese, when I saw that, I was scratching my head because I didn't really know which enzymes are affected by manganese deficiency. So I started diving in and reading all about manganese. And I was shocked with what I found, because I found that every single thing that was affected by manganese deficiency fit right into issues that we have today in health. So it was like, wow, it has to be the case that glyphosate is messing up the manganese. And so you mentioned the glutamate. There's a glutamine synthase that depends upon manganese to work, to function. And it takes glutamate and ammonia as input, and it produces glutamine as output. A very, very important enzyme, because it's used in the brain to prevent glutamate toxicity and ammonium toxicity. And in fact, in autism, I had already written a paper about glutamate and ammonia specifically in the brain in association with autism, causing a kind of low-grade chronic encephalopathy. I wrote that before I knew anything about glyphosate. But once I knew about
some of these charts here, y'all might have to pause it and read that shit if y'all can read it. But I got some more shit, though.
The manganese problem with glyphosate, then all of a sudden it made sense why this was happening.
All right, we got another video here. Hold on, one more. One more video. Back to Stephanie. Why do we allow our ocean to be poisoned?
Right. Well, I was really fascinated by this. I've been reading about the starfish. Of course, I know about the coral crisis, and I've been puzzled about that. What is causing the coral worldwide to be really, really in trouble? The coral is dying everywhere around the world. And so what's causing that? And then the starfish on the West Coast, which they've come up with this very bizarre starfish
Oh, look at that now. Glyphosate is used to kill seagrass in the oyster bed. Glyphosate and deodorant are among the most frequently detected herbicides in oysters production area. What? The starfish eat oysters. You see what I'm saying?
Disorder where they basically melt. Their skeleton just starts kind of turning into goo.
Damn.
It's extremely malformed. And so figure out what's causing this. I suspect glyphosate in both cases because both the coral and the starfish depend upon manganese for enzymes that are used to make chondroitin sulfate, which is a critical piece of their skeleton. So their skeleton becomes severely disturbed in the absence of sufficient manganese, and glyphosate chelates manganese. And so I looked around and I found out that that glyphosate is used. I was horrified to find this out because oysters are really healthy food, and I think that they're very important for renewing all of your minerals because they have a tremendous amount of mineral content. But unfortunately, oysters on the West Coast, on the oyster farms, are being glyphosate's being applied to them to kill the seagrass that's growing around the oysters. And the starfish eat oysters, so they come in and they get exposed to the seagrass, to the glyphosate in the seagrass, I'm suspecting, or even in the oyster, which really horrifies me because no one's tested glyphosate levels in oysters, and I'm afraid to find out what it is.
Damn.
So,
how are herbicides made to be even more toxic?
pesticides. Why are adjuvants added to pesticides, and what is that? How does that matter in terms of our ecosystem?
Who is it talking?
Right. Well, so they figured out that you can put in these adjuvants, which are usually surfactants, which cause the cells to be. It messes up the cell wall, and so it causes the cells, the active ingredient in the pesticide, to be more readily enter the cell, even more readily enter the mitochondria within the cell. And so, and this has been confirmed with glyphosate, that the glyphosate enters the cell much more readily in the presence of these adjuvants. And of course, they use them then to make it more toxic to the plant or more toxic to the pest. So for them, it's like, great, this makes it more toxic, let's do it. But unfortunately, they don't necessarily study it in that same context when they try to evaluate its toxicity in order to report to the FDA or something about or the EPA about the safety of this chemical.
Why have some countries banned herbicides with glyphosate?
Yes, I was so thrilled when I saw, first of all, a wonderful paper written by some Sri Lankans, and these people were intent on trying to understand what was.
This shit, glyphosate is banned in some countries and shit, man. Think about that shit, man. They banned this shit, but we over here putting it in our food and shit. That crazy fuck. Glyphosate, hard water, and nephrotic metals, are they the culprits behind the epidemic of chronic kidney disease of unknown etiologic? Damn, they got some crazy shit. In Sri Lanka, etiology. Dang. Lanka is the first country to ban glyphosate. Sri Lanka, they banned it, but it's more than one. But we finna check it out.
It's causing kidney failure among young agricultural workers. This is now it was occurring in an epidemic rate among these workers, and it's been observed in both the sugarcane fields and in the rice fields in Sri Lanka, and also
in Sri Lanka, they didn't ban that shit. They knew that shit was fucking them up. That's why they banned it.
In Central America and in India, the agricultural workers are in trouble with kidney failure. And so these workers did a very careful study looking at the places where the agricultural workers were affected and the places where they weren't. And they discovered that an area where they were growing organic, none of the workers were sick. None of them had any problem with kidney failure. And in an area where glyphosate was being used, and also this area had previously had a lot of exposure to arsenic. So the soil, because arsenic had also been used previously as a weed killer,
go through
and then they switched over to glyphosate. So they kind of had a combination of arsenic and glyphosate. And these people figured out that was very synergistically dangerous, because the glyphosate, just arsenic is another mineral, just like all the other ones. Glyphosate cages arsenic and carries it like a stealth bomb past the gut barrier, because of the fact that it can hide the +3 charge on the molecule, on the atom, and make it much easier to get across the gut barrier.
She's smart.
Takes it right past the liver and delivers it straight to the kidney, where there's an acidic environment that allows then, in the acidic environment, glyphosate lets go. So it's a perfect stealth bomb, and delivers the arsenic to the kidney, and also delivers the glyphosate to the kidney at the same time, because when the two are combined, the molecule is relatively safe, the combination. But once it opens up because of the acidic environment, both of them become toxic, and the kidneys get damaged. And this was the explanation they offered in the paper, and this is what led the government to be immediately proactive and say, okay, we're banning glyphosate. And El Salvador also followed suit for the same reasons. So now 2 countries have banned glyphosate usage in agriculture, which makes me, with more and more countries following
El Salvador,
suit.
Okay. El Salvador and Sri Lanka, they banned glyphosate. Hold up for a second, though. We got some charts we finna look at right quick. Hold up for a second. We'll be right back, man. Be right back, man. I wish I could pause this shit or something. Check this out. Hold up. We're going to check out. Yeah, y'all. Look at this chart till I get back. All right. God damn, man. Every time I go live, every goddamn time. But let's check out this goddamn graph right here. But as y'all can see, autism, man, y'all remember what we said around 1970 when on that glyphosate. The glyphosate, they came in with that glyphosate around 1970, and then from 1974, I need my goddamn pointer. Hold up. 1974. From 1970, that's when that shit came out in 1974. But look at the chart though. Look at autism. That shit starts shooting up, man. When they start putting it in our foods and shit. They start putting it in our foods and shit, man. And they just went skyrocket. Everything would have kind of leveled off right here. When they start putting that shit in the foods and shit around 2000, look at that. Look at that shit. It just shoots straight up there, man. That crazy, man. That crazy. Autism prevalence, look at that, has increased 241% since 2000. That let you know something is causing this shit straight up. Whatever the change, the dramatic change, that causing this shit, autism and whatever else coming after this shit. And it got to be the food, man. It got to be this. This when they started doing this shit at the same time, putting it in our foods and the pesticides and shit. 241, do y'all see that, man? That's a big number, man, from 2000. Check this out. This the current California DDS autism case to birth for birth years 1960s, 2024, 2014. 2014. Now look at this chart, man. Look at this chart, man. Look at this chart, man. There it go again. From remember that came in 1970. They introduced it to our crops and shit, into the crops and shit, and look at autism. Look at the autism. It's going up 2,000 cases, 4,000 cases, 2008, 6,000 cases. 2014, it up to about 7,000 cases. Why? This a coincidence? No, it ain't no goddamn coincidence. This is not no coincidence. Let's go through these charts right quick. Y'all see that shit. Here go to California. Here go from 1989 to 2023. Here go the consumers of autism. Here they go right here. They like that last chart. Now they're gonna go from where that last chart stopped at 2014. Look at that. It show you right here. It go all the way up. 90,000, 135,000 in 2021. Oh my God. 2023, 180,000. 180,000. Y'all, that ain't no coincidence. Look at this shit. They getting paid just for diagnosing people. That what it is. They gotta say that shit just so they can make money. Let's go to another chart, man. Look at this one. We might can't hardly see that good though. These are the children with autism and glyphosate application. They go to glyphosate application when they start putting that shit in the food. They go right here. The year 2000, y'all see glyphosate applied to corn and soy. 1,000 tons. You see that's the red line. The glyphosate is the red line. The yellow line is the kids and shit with autism. And look, it just so happened. Look at they putting that shit in the food, and it going up just with the other kid with autism, going up just as much as going up as they putting it in the food. Look at the number of this is the number of children on this side. 50,000, 100,000. Look at this shit, man. 400,000. Right here, and that's applied to corn soy. That's 1,000 tons, 80. But that 80,000 tons, what? 400,000 kids. I'm telling y'all, man, the glyphosate, it got something to do with goddamn autism and shit like that. I'm telling you, straight up. That's just what that is right there. Y'all see the numbers. Y'all see the chart, and that shit started. Look, they start putting it in more and more 2,000 and up. It just going up with autism. It going up. All of it going up at the same time. And look, then when they adopted genetically engineered crops in the United States in which glyphosate is applied. They got a percentage right there. Look at that. Corn and soy is blue. Soy yellow. Cotton is goddamn green. And corn by itself is a little reddish color. Look at that shit. They drop 7. It going up. Like I said, 2000, they really start introducing it. You see. It going all the graphs going, all these charts are going up. as they introduce that shit to the crops, man. Now look at this now. I'll just throw this in here just so y'all can see. The United States government allows nearly 6 times more glyphosate in our food than the Europeans, than in Europe. They all the same people anyway though, but over there in Europe. Look at the United States. 1.75. And look at Europe, 0.3 allowed daily intake, man. ADI, allowed daily intake. Look at this, man. Exposure level, milligrams per kilograms of body weight. Look at that. We all the way up to our neck. We all the way up to our neck in this glyphosate. That's allowed in the United States. God, boy, we fucked up over here, boy. We fucked up over here, man. Is that my last chart? I think that's my last one, I believe, right there. Golly, that crazy there, man. Well, y'all know what? We got to be more careful. We got to be more careful. This shit what we taking in, man. I know I got to be careful myself. Because I be fucking up myself. I ain't going to lie. I don't eat healthy. I don't eat healthy. We all should, but I fuck up sometimes. I try to. I've been trying lately, though. But, because I'm getting older now. Getting old, man. I can't be eating this shit, doing this shit, man. I'm feeling it. But yeah, man, we gotta start doing better, man. Start eating healthy, man, and shit like that. I ain't gonna, this disclaimer, I ain't no goddamn doctor, know none of that shit. And I don't know nothing about none of that shit. I'm just telling y'all some shit. I'm showing y'all what the professionals goddamn say. Real doctors, not me. I ain't no doctor, nothing. So, disclaimer. But anyway, let me know what y'all think about this video, man. Let me know what y'all think about this video, man. Like the video, just like it. If you don't like it, like it. Like the video. If you're new to this channel, man, subscribe to my channel, man. Just do that shit. It ain't gonna hurt y'all. I ain't asking y'all for nothing. Just open your minds. Subscribe to the channel and quit eating that bullshit, man. If you a big woman or whatever, though, you fat or whatever, man, just stop eating meat, period. Just for a couple months. You ain't got to go vegan and shit. Just stop eating meat, man. You're going to be good for a couple months. You'll be good. You'll get back to eating and shit. Just stop that shit. You'll lose that weight. But anyway, I'll holler at y'all, man. I am your host, man, Kituko x Kehinde. Leave a comment. Let me know what y'all think about this video, man. Let me know what y'all think about the video. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel whenever you get a chance. And share the video if you want to. You ain't got to, but it ain't gonna hurt none, But I'm gonna holler at y'all, man. Talk black to me.
Gotta be hard on you now to know the truth. A bit confused. But there's a bunch of us out in the world who's just like me, not into you. Same thing. You think you did kill, you know nothing, babe. I want something real, not the custom made. I'll buy you a drink, keep you company. I'm sorry, that's all it would be. My fault, my bad. The words out, but you aren't ready for it. Show off, appearance of herself is for attention. She get high on confirmation.